In LA?
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. Oh, hey, and we're on live. Dan Chinder here on Jump Talk TV, the NAMM Show coverage 2019. Here with John Clardy from Terra Mellos, sorry.
Got it.
Which is a math rock band, which means they're all very smart and trying to keep up with the drummer. John, how are you?
I'm well. How are you, Dan?
Wonderful, thank you. Thanks for taking time to join us.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So you mentioned, we did a little chit chat before we started, John's in between tours. So you do a lot of teaching right now?
Yeah, I teach at a School of Rock, actually not too far from here, and I also do private lessons on Skype.
What do you like the most about teaching?
Helping kids follow the thread back of players that influence the players that they like.
That's great. And you mostly have youngsters?
I literally have students as young as 6, all the way up to adults in their,
Great.
In the adult range.
That was very generous.
It's a broad picture you could paint with that. So
I fall into the kids range, but I'm a lot older. Figure that one out. So let's talk about influences. Who are some of your personal biggest influences on the drums?
a big one who we were just talking about is Bill Bruford. His work with Yes, his work with King Crimson, Earthworks, Bruford, all the stuff he's done is amazing.
And in my opinion, as I was mentioning, chime in if you agree, disagree. I think Bill Bruford is the most unique drummer out there. There are so many other amazing drummers that are different, like Thomas Lang, Terry Bozzio. It goes on and on. I think Bill Bruford is the pioneer drummer of being totally different.
Yeah, no, I would agree.
Playing commercial music, too.
If he had only done Heart of the Sunrise, you'd still talk about him in the highest regard, but just the breadth of creativity that he covered in his career is just unreal.
And even just with Yes, for a very short time, because Alan joined in December of 1972.
Yeah.
That's a very short time for Bill to have been with the band since 60. So it was about 4 years, and he's still thought of in such a high regard in Yes's history, even by Alan.
Yeah, well, and then to leave Yes to join King Crimson, which is
It was a little gutsy at the time.
very, very gutsy, and that was definitely an artistic move. But man, Red absolutely turned me on my head the first time I listened to that record. Got home from admittedly it was on CD, but yeah, that one spun me upside down in a great way.
Awesome. You youngsters got to check out the early Yes albums with Bill Bruford. Who are a couple other of your biggest influences besides me and Dory?
Besides these two, obviously, definitely Zach Hill from Hella and Death Grips. All the usual suspects, from Elvin Jones and Tony Williams to Stuart Copeland and John Bonham and Ian Pace and Dave Grohl. Mitch Mitchell is one of my absolute biggest influences.
Nice.
Yeah.
And when did you study drums? Did you start early and take lessons, or what's your mode of learning? Listening, watching videos?
Well, so I never took lessons formally. Actually, my father's a guitar player. And I had 2 uncles that were bass players, and music was always around in the house and things like that. And I was lucky there was a drum kit in the house, and when I was 13 or 14, my dad started letting me play it, and I just kind of had this realization, like, man, I can play stuff this week that I couldn't play last week. That's not happening with guitar. So I kind of just dove head first into it. But a lot of it was watching as many players as I could, either going to shows or... This is when you had to rent tapes from Blockbuster. But
That's awesome. What do you have coming up with the band?
might start working on some new stuff, and then gonna try to hit the road maybe in the fall. We'll see. So
You keep me up to date with what you're doing, and we'll bring you back on to promote it and have a more in-depth interview about your journey, okay? Cool. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And thank you, everybody, for watching on Drum Talk TV live coverage of the NAMM Show 2019. More to come. Believe it or not.